Recording. And we're live. That's how that works.
And we're live, just like that.
It's magic.
We've got our usual 10 topics. Well, that's
Perfect.
the number. Not like we do the same topics every week, because that would be
They get boring very fast.
repetitive. Yeah.
I was looking back, and actually for like the last 2 months, it's been like 10, 11, 10, 14, 11.
Yeah, it's been pretty consistent.
We don't got any more of those
It's
4
good.
and 6 weeks.
Yeah, no kidding. That was difficult.
This week's a 10 out of 10.
We've got... Go ahead.
AT&T wants to sell off a portion of Warner Brothers, just the interactive entertainment, which is their video games. And the number they're asking for is in the billions.
Not millions, billions.
Yeah. Windows 10 is releasing its 2020 update, and it's not that great. It seems to have problems once again.
It's following the theme of 2020.
Yeah. And for Windows,
Having issues.
2019 and 2018 and 2017. Windows is having a hard. Apparently, you can now buy a Hackintosh computer ready to go by OpenCore, but not the OpenCore bootloader. It's just a company named after free software selling pirated software on a computer.
What could possibly go wrong?
But don't worry, you can pay in Bitcoin. Zynga Games is teaming up with Snapchat, that social media platform. And we might see some new games coming out. Might be a little interesting. This console that has just been released, it's amazing. Everyone knows.
I've seen pictures for sure.
Now, we had both put this article in there, and that's the way it should be.
Yes.
You want to tell them about it?
Hackers can use a light bulb to listen to your conversations. This is similar to another topic we talked about a while ago that had to do with hackers listening to your conversations through an Echo Dot. Or actually, I guess it was being able to control your Echo Dot. Remember that?
Yeah. Laser.
Yes, with a laser. So we'll talk about that. Starlink, which is Elon Musk's satellite-based internet company, hopes to launch internet services in Canada and the northern U.S. later this year, and they're hoping to go global sometime in 2021. You'll like this next one. Tesla Model 3 now comes with standard wireless phone charging.
Hallelujah. I saw, when I first read that, I thought it just said standard wireless charging, as in you just drive it into the garage on like this huge floor mat.
That would have been really cool. But this is, I wouldn't say this is in the same league as that, but yeah, it's convenient. Tesla shares are up due to Elon's memo about increasing production of Tesla's semi-truck. And finally, speaking of Elon Musk, we're not talking about SpaceX, but Rocketbook is $10 off on Amazon. It's usually $30, but right now it's just $20. Have you heard of Rocketbook?
I have, because we talked about it.
Oh, man. Well, we'll talk about it again today.
Yeah, and you can buy it cheaper if you didn't buy it the first time around. Hashtag not sponsored. So AT&T wants to sell a big portion of their Warner Brothers video games.
Okay. I wasn't aware of which games Warner Brothers owned or had built, but it looks like some of those titles include Mortal Kombat, which is obviously a pretty popular series, and then also Harry Potter, Wizards Unite.
Yep, and it goes on to saying anything Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, the Lego Movie, and Mortal Kombat, and Scribblenauts.
Okay, so some kind of big name games.
But they are asking $4 billion, which is a hefty number. I would have liked to see a whole list of everything.
Yes, that would have been nice.
But it looks like Take-Two Interactive Software, EA, Electronic Arts, and Activision Blizzard have all expressed interest in buying the game division.
And I'm assuming that EA and Activision are way bigger than Warner Bros. Gaming, right? I haven't heard of Take-Two, but let me actually see. Yeah, Activision is worth about 55 billion, and EA
Oh,
is worth 22 billion. So
that's
both significantly bigger than
4 billion.
Warner Bros. Yeah. But one thing that this article also mentions, it says that AT&T is looking at divesting assets to service its almost $200 billion in debt. So 4 billion sounds like a lot, but compared to their debt, it's not all that
Wow.
much.
It's a little odd to me that they're selling just the game division of Warner Brothers, which means they keep all the bigger Warner Brother names, probably like Looney Tunes and such, and they're just selling the gaming
Yes.
division. So it's not Warner Brothers is changing hands. It's just some of their games are leaving
Hmm.
from AT&T. So it's not that bad of a thing. But
Yeah, I didn't realize that AT&T had a stake in gaming, but I mean, I guess it makes sense with all these big companies. Like a lot of them do have stakes in a lot of different industries, so to speak.
yeah, I didn't realize just how many things AT&T owned. It always surprised. Like I know Verizon owns like half of the internet at this point, but some of the ones that caught me off guard was Cricket is owned by AT&T. It's a subsidiary.
Huh.
Rooster Teeth, which I think's the YouTube channel, correct?
I've definitely seen that YouTube channel.
Rooster Teeth Productions LLC is an American production company headquartered in Austin, Texas, by Bernie Burns, Matt Holman, someone. Yeah, it looks like it's
So a YouTube channel, but also just like a media company, which may encompass more than just YouTube, I guess. Wow.
speaking of WoW, Microsoft Windows 10, the 2020 update, it's already broken. Uh, so apparently they're adding this thing called Fresh Start in Windows 10. I don't even know if my computer has it. Fresh Start. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay. Fresh Start. Start fresh with a clean and up-to-date installation of Windows. This will keep your personal files and some Windows settings and remove some of your apps. So, start fresh with a clean, up-to-date installation of Windows. How can it be a clean installation of Windows if it keeps your personal files, some Windows settings, and only removes some apps? So it's only changing some settings and removing some apps is basically what I got from that.
So it's not really a full fresh start.
Yeah, that's odd. Yeah, it's like I offer fresh starts on Windows 10 where I just wipe their whole hard drive, or reinstall
Hmm.
Windows 10, and that's a legitimate clean fresh start.
Hmm.
This fresh start, I never even heard of it, never even used it before. Seems like a really odd niche tool.
It seems almost like something more for consumers to be able to restart or refresh their own PC rather than having to go to a computer repair shop.
So, are you in front of a Windows 10 computer? I don't know if you know about this one.
Yes, I am.
If you type in reset in your search bar or in the start menu,
Reset this PC.
yes, and it's a little wizard. Don't follow along in the wizard or you'll reset your PC. And this will literally wipe everything. And you can choose to save your personal pictures, documents, videos, and your what I call user data stuff. Uh,
Okay.
but it will wipe all the programs and all the settings. And that's already built into Windows 10, and it works. So I don't know what fresh start versus reset this
Does
PC.
differently. Yeah.
It keeps a couple more settings, I guess. I don't know. It's odd. There's almost too many options at this point now to
Yeah, and a lot of different menus, a lot of different places.
Yep. Because then you also have like the system restore, and you have the Windows 10 built-in boot up repairs. It's very messy. But apparently this feature is being added into the 2020 update of Windows 10, and is being rolled out to consumers. And here is a screenshot of a bunch of posts saying Fresh Start is not working. And it's still rolled out. Imagine being notified at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, and still rolling out a feature that doesn't work. That's wild. But I guess they gotta ship something.
Yeah. Welcome to 2020, Microsoft. All right, this next one seems interesting.
So I can't even
Open
fully
Core
understand.
Hackintosh.
Have you ever tried Hackintosh?
No. So if our viewers are not aware, basically what a Hackintosh is it's a custom built, well, it's a computer built using custom hardware or non-Apple hardware that's running a Mac operating system on it. So rather than paying $2,000 to buy a computer from Apple and having it the Mac OS installed by default, you can find parts that are compatible and build your own computer and install the software yourself for a lot cheaper than buying direct from Apple. But it's a pretty difficult process, and only certain hardware is actually compatible. So I'm guessing that's why this company is launching their Hackintosh.
Yep. So the company's called Open Core Computer, and apparently there's a bootloader to install Hackintosh called Open Core Bootloader that has nothing to do with the company Open Core Computer. And
So it sounds like Open Core Computer is trying to write off their name.
Yeah, by using a legitimate name. Like, I know this name. So I should be able to know this company and use their kind of like Warner Brothers Active Entertainment or whatever it's called. Interactive Entertainment. And you're like, oh, that's probably owned by Warner Brothers. And then you find out that it's not or something like that. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
But Open Core Computer is, Open Core Bootloader released a statement saying that they are know-how affiliated with these people and strongly ask everyone by all means to never approach them. That's a pretty strong statement.
Building Hackintoshes is already a gray enough area, if not illegal. But going out and producing something and trying to sell it as a legitimate company is, yeah, like you said, piracy. It's
violation of the end user license agreement within macOS. So
So it'd be fine to go out and build a custom computer and install Windows on it if you paid for the operating system, but
yeah,
it's different with the Mac for sure.
It's crazy. But no, it just caught my eye. I've tried building Hackintosh several times. I've given up fully in life on macOS. It's not worth the effort.
Yeah, I've definitely installed Linux on laptops before, but never really tried with the Hackintosh thing.
Yeah, I've used several Linux.
Just
distros.
honestly, go ahead.
Oh. I've used several different Linux distros, and honestly, the only two operating systems I like are Windows, just because it's what everybody uses. I wouldn't like it if some people defaulted to something else. And Chrome OS. I kind of like Chrome OS because it's simple, it's easy, and it kind of just works.
Yeah. It only has the basics of what you actually need, which nowadays is pretty much just a web browser.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say Chrome OS is probably going to one day take over Android, and Android's going to fade out, and Chrome OS is going to replace it. because Chrome OS can already run Android apps. It can already use the Play Store.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's just an even lighter, cleaner version of Android, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's not a good sign for Android.
But they're both owned by
But
Google, so you know.
by Google, yeah. So eventually they're gonna choose one project or the other, right?
Yeah. Because,
Or
yeah, you're not going to
discontinue
have
the other.
Android on your phone and Chrome OS on your tablet and laptop and then Windows on your desktop. That's ridiculous. You'll have Chrome OS on all three.
On everything, yeah. Which is pretty much the way that Apple is trying to approach it too. Get people into the
They're
Apple
trying,
ecosystem so
yeah.
they have a similar user experience on all the different devices, which makes sense. I mean, they all want to be the monopoly at the end of the day. They want all your money, and they don't want anybody else to have your money. So
That's the way to do it. Man, Zynga teams up with Snapchat for new video games. So Zynga is the popular mobile game. I believe they did Bejeweled, and you're going to have to fill me in on what else Zynga did.
let me see.
But they did like Bejeweled.
Zynga games, Farmville, some kind of Zynga poker, Words with Friends is a big one.
But it looks like they're starting to roll out games for Snapchat. I've never really... I've downloaded it twice and uninstalled it both times. It's not even on my new phone, so yay me. I probably won't ever install it. It's for the youngsters.
I installed it one time and probably uninstalled it 3 years ago and haven't looked back since.
I just don't need to keep up with anybody that closely.
Yeah. Yeah, like Instagram is enough for me for sure.
But I guess it'll be interesting to people who use the Snapchat, play games with their friends. It'd be interesting to see what kind of games that come out, because it looks like they're trying to release a battle royale type game called Tiny Royale, and that was released in 2019. So I never heard about it. Apparently, I guess it didn't take off very well.
Yeah.
Clearly, right? We've been doing this longer than that game's been out, and we never even watched
Yeah.
it. So maybe they'll have better luck. Maybe mobile gaming is dead. It's far from it, but
Yeah, I'm
VR is
wondering
dead.
how that would integrate with the whole camera pictures thing. Because that's what Snapchat's all about, right? Sending pictures. So
And-
how would games tie into that?
And then,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I always thought of Snapchat as the one platform where conversations were never saved. I don't know if they are or not, but from my understanding, it's a place where conversations aren't saved, which to me is more aggravating more than anything. I really like being able to go back in the conversation and see that, Jmart Media said, "Oh, I use the DSLR Rebel T7 4006 or whatever." I like
Or you
being
can
able to
look
go
back through and see, hey, you want to stream at this time, or you want to meet, you want to go to some place at a certain time. You can always look back and see, hey, what day was he talking about, or what time?
or in front of which building.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Snapchat doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
We need to find someone who uses Snapchat all the time.
It's
They can
obviously
come
pretty
over here and
popular,
explain
like,
it.
so, yeah.
Somebody uses it. Speaking of things that people might use, the game console that literally every tech channel is talking about right now. Da, 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 da. Xbox or PS5? Nah. Get KFC's finger-licking KF console instead. This is over at Tom's Hardware. This thing is ridiculous. I haven't seen it anywhere else until I looked up articles today.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this either. If I didn't know better, I would think it was April Fool's Day, but it's
I mean,
not,
you would think, right?
which is kind of scary.
So they released a tweet. I think we should be able to play the tweet without getting people angry, right? So it's a little box. Looks like their big bucket. It's so loud on my headphones. 1 second.
Yeah, it is.
A brand new gaming console. Equipped with a chicken chamber.
Power your hunger.
And cross-platform compatibility. True 4K, 120 FPS.
Yeah, this is kind of weird because, first of all, there's no way this is real. All right? Right?
Why? Why not?
Is it stupid that I have to? Because it's KFC. And also because having a chicken cooker in a console, wouldn't that just overheat it even faster? I feel so stupid that I have to ask this, but is this real?
So, do you think they could put like a like an Android OS in there, and then they could play mobile games?
I mean,
4K 6.
it could be
FPS?
done. I don't know about 4K at 120 FPS. Do other consoles even do that?
No, man,
Probably
my
not.
computer can't even do that.
Yeah. There's no way. Wasn't it the PS3 that a lot of people said looked like a grill? Pull up the PS3.
PS. All right, let's do this. PS3 console. Look at that typing skills. Images. That because that almost looks like a one of those
Little
tabletop
fold-out
grills.
grill. Yeah. I'm wondering if I'm thinking that KFC must be kind of playing for this.
Nah, I think this is a great idea.
I mean, I would say it's really good marketing, except this is the first time I've really seen it. But
Yeah, no kidding, right? And then
I guess if they just released the ad, then whatever. But
you can go through a McDonald's and get your McConsole.
yeah, I would like to get one McConsole, please.
And then Wendy's, of course,
With
will
this,
have a square console to match their patties.
yeah, can't cut corners. Maybe you can order a side of a certain game.
Oh. That's 5
On to
articles
a
on
more serious topic, I
the
think.
super serious topics. The sponsors. They're super serious.
This video is sponsored by Nephew Tech and also Jmart Media. I have almost 500 subscribers.
Almost 500.
Almost, yeah.
I can
I've
get
got
you
like-
one less.
I think I've got 492 now.
You'll have 500 eventually, right? I'm still at 15.
Eventually.
Go me. We're rocking this. I'm actually looking at doing a couple videos probably this week.
Okay.
I did one live stream a week and a half ago on my Jacob Ingram channel, and then I did another Saturday live stream this past one, and it's kind of working out. I might end up doing a Saturday live stream by myself at the store. Seems to be kind of working. But,
Just like a real live stream,
yeah,
an IRL stream. Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of working. But yeah, I hope to make a couple more videos this week. I don't know what channel to put them on at this point. It's kind of like in the moment I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this channel. So you gotta go find all my channels. No links will be provided.
Oh man,
That's
come
up
on
for
now.
You. You just gotta start searching words and see what pops up. Or you can buy a $400 camera and then stand 25 meters from my window and read my light bulbs.
Read my light bulb.
So it's pretty awesome article here. The farthest source I could find was this nasibin.com/lamp phone.
Okay.
Uh, but it's a Black Hat talk from as far as I can tell. And there's a really cool little 3-minute, 33-second video on how it works. Basically, a person talks and the light bulb will slightly vibrate. And then they can use a visual, I'll go away, a visual microphone SIGGRAPH. I have no idea how to pronounce it. And then somehow it laptop reads it. But it's good enough. This is the weird part, that in real time, the laptop playing whatever the camera's reading, Shazam can tell what song's playing in that room.
Wow.
So Shazam can pick up what the laptop's playing from what the camera sees from the light bulb vibrating, which is wild.
Yes, that is pretty insane.
And so they kept saying light bulb hanging from a ceiling, and I didn't quite understand what that meant. Hanging, like
Mhm.
is it tied to a string and just
Yeah.
stuck up there? And then from
Mhm.
looks of it, it's actually just like any bulb that's mounted like upside down.
Does it have to be upside down?
That's what I'm not sure on. I was way too lazy to read a
Gotcha. Yeah, it's pretty
3-minute
long.
video. Yeah, it's 3 minutes. It's just unbelievable. But then, like, here's a shot from them on a balcony looking across.
And they're a pretty good distance away.
Yeah. So then we can see the original audio and then the reconstruction. Aside from a lot of noise, I mean, Shazam's able to pick up exactly what song's playing. And that is wild. So close your blinds, take your light bulbs out of the socket.
But don't put a smaller light bulb inside of the socket,
Yeah.
or then your power might go out.
Midstream. Well, end stream at that point, right?
Yeah.
Going out with a fuse. That's what I understood from the article. Anything to add?
Not really. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
You're going to take
Yeah.
lead on this one because I did not read it.
Oh, yes. Starlink hopes to launch internet service in Canada and the northern U.S. later this year, hoping for global sometime in 2021. So basically every week now, Starlink is launching about 60 new satellites up into the sky. And currently, I'm not sure how many they have currently, but it's probably in the mid-hundreds, I would say. But they added a new tool on their website where you can put in your email and your zip code to get updates about when Starlink will be coming to your area. Kind of like how Google did a while ago with
Google Fi.
Google Fi, yep.
And then it never came.
And then it never came, yeah. So Starlink's goal is to basically do kind of the Canada and the northern part of the US this year, later this year, and then across the entire globe sometime in 2021. And I think that's more achievable than Google Fi's goals because they don't really need all the groundwork for setting up
Less invasive.
individual lines to each home, or each area. They just launch the satellites, and which is probably technically more advanced, but once they have the satellites in the air, it covers a large area. And then I also saw that the I don't know if they call them terminals or what, but the satellites that a customer will have will be about the size of a pizza dish, and they should auto aim at Starlink satellites. So potentially you could move it around, and like if you go on vacation at the beach, you could take your Starlink satellite with you and
I wonder if
have
they
internet there.
would make them
Super
look
cool.
like sunflowers, so that they'll rotate as the day goes by, and I would assume the satellites are constantly moving around the Earth. I don't assume that it's
They
sticking,
are.
because I would have a hard time believing that it's worth trying to make it stay at a certain
Mhm.
coordinate.
Yeah, they're constantly moving around, and some satellites that are a lot further away rotate at the same speed as the Earth, but these satellites are a lot closer, which means they'll have to move quicker to escape Earth's gravity, basically, if that makes sense. So they'll
Yeah.
have to move a lot faster. And later on in this article, it actually says, to date, SpaceX has put 482 Starlink satellites in orbit. So I was pretty close,
Yeah. Wow. That's a
mid
lot.
hundreds.
I I'm still a little
Yeah, it is
confused
a
on why
lot.
they decided to choose Canada and the northern U.S. That's a lot of landmass. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like they could have been like, we'll do Great Britain, and it'd be like 4 satellites. But I'm curious if they're doing a super northern part, so that the satellites have like a smaller rotation, because then it would take less satellites if you had to cover that full 360 around.
They will still have to cover the 360 around
Yeah, but like the
because when
closer
they
to the
rotate
equator.
around the Earth. Yeah, because when they rotate around the Earth, the gravity is going to keep them
Yeah.
like rotating all the way around the Earth.
But yeah, I'm curious. That's why they chose super north, because they could have done super south too. But
Hmm.
because the closer to the equator, the more satellites they would have to do to build a belt all the way around the Earth. So I'm
No,
curious.
it'll still go all the way around. It'll go around 100% of the Earth.
Oh, all 360
Yeah.
coverage. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like it just goes
They're not going to
the
just do like one belt at a
ball or
time.
anything. Yeah, it's not like you just have your ball and the satellite can go around up here. It has
Yeah.
to go all the way around. So even if it's covering the northern half, it still has to go kind of all the way around. This
Ye-
visual is probably terrible, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand now. But that
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
okay. I'm just a little dumb.
Yeah, it's weird, but I think this is going to be really cool though, especially for people in rural areas. They're aiming for latency below 20 milliseconds, which is better than what we have right now with wired internet, which means that you could actually game on this satellite
Yeah.
internet. But typically, satellite internet, the satellites are way further away, and they have some kind of slower protocol that results
then
in like 500 millisecond
1800s.
latency, which is definitely not good for gaming. But 20 milliseconds,
That's doable.
supposedly pretty fast bandwidth. Yeah, it's pretty
This is-
impressive.
Now all they gotta do is attach a camera onto the satellite, and then cut a hole in your roof, and they can listen to your conversations. They'll know what music you're playing.
Only if the satellite is below 25 meters, though.
Yeah, yeah. Just because
Yeah.
they're like airplanes.
Yeah. So just make sure you live beside a mountain, and the satellites will have to continuously crash into the mountain.
Yeah, it's free satellites.
Okay, there you go.
All
It's
you
like a
gotta do
loot
is-
crate.
Yeah, all you gotta do is get them up into space, and they're all yours.
This next one also has to do with one of Elon Musk's companies, Mr. Elon. Tesla's Model 3, which is kind of like their base model car, now has standard wireless phone charging.
I'm so happy about this. Why
And-
is this a normal thing?
Yeah. Apparently, it's one of the first changes to the insides, the interior of the Model 3 since it's been released. I guess because Tesla's been working on a lot of other things, like coming out with new cars and such. But
I was actually over at a friend's house yesterday,
Mhm.
working on the car, and his car doesn't have any type of charging yet because he just got it. And I was like, man, you got 2 cup holders here, and the majority of the time you're going to be by yourself. You should just.
is the Corvette?
Yes, the Corvette. You should just turn one of those cup holders into a wireless phone charger, because I'm sure you can buy a cup holder to wireless phone charger on Amazon or eBay or something. Or if not, I can 3D print one. It's like,
Mhm. Yeah.
can't be that hard. It's not supposed to be a hot summer this year either, so it shouldn't melt. Right? But no,
Yeah, so just a convenient place to set the phone charger.
yeah, and it doesn't wear out your power jack, so you know you don't have to only
Hmm.
have wireless charging. But
And if you already have a Model 3 without the wireless charger, then you can buy one for 125 bucks.
so I thought of a way to make it wireless charging for the car, so you don't have to like plug it in.
Okay.
So we can actually go full bigger screen. Ta-da! So like when you pull into the garage, you never
Hmm.
run your wheels over wherever the front of the garage is. So that's where you can have the power cord come in, and then there'll be like a garage mat that you'll just drive over, and then there could be just like two spring type actions. And so when you drive over them, then you have to, like 2 or 3 or 4 contact points. And so then
Hmm.
you have like your powers and your datas, and there's no power until the datas talk to each other and say it's safe. Because then they
Hmm.
could do like a load test or something. It's like, oh, there's impedance, which means someone's down there touching them or something. But then if the impedance isn't there, I don't remember which way,
Hmm.
then it's like, hey, we're good to go. And then they can start shooting 240 volts. The only downside is that the contacts on the bottom side of the car can't always be dirty.
True.
But how many dirty Teslas have you seen? So you know.
Yeah, true. Who's going off-roading in their Tesla? You're doing it wrong, bro.
But
Yeah,
no,
that would just add an extra convenience.
it'd be super convenient, man, to just be able to step out of your car and it just start
Hmm.
charging.
Yeah.
It's possible,
And then
Elon. You should do it.
and then another Tesla topic. This one, and not too much to talk about, but basically there was a linked memo from Elon Musk to employees of the company saying it's time to go all out and bring the Tesla Semi to volume production, basically, because I think he sent out the memo after SpaceX launched the 2 NASA astronauts, so they must have had maybe some of Tesla's people working with SpaceX or something. I don't know, or maybe Elon was just preoccupied with the
Yeah.
space launch, which I can understand. But now the Tesla Semi is going to be, you know, starting to get worked on again, which is pretty cool. The downside of the Tesla Semi is that it's really probably going to be best for city use, not like cross country trips, just because of the limited mileage that you can get out of a battery.
So do you
And you
think
can't just fill up on fuel, you have to recharge and everything. So
it'd be more popular for there to be like hubs almost, kind of like how there's train stations or airports where people will drive them cross country in the gas still until these become better,
yeah,
and then they'll just drop off their trailer
the
and then
trailer. Mhm.
someone else will take it in one of these.
I could definitely see that because yeah, I mean electric vehicles are even more efficient at lower speeds before you
Yeah.
add in the extra drag from the air. So I could definitely see that just because they're cheaper to operate or cheaper to fuel because it's just using the electricity rather than gasoline. So I could definitely see that.
Or Elon Musk is just going to make more efficient, better batteries, and
Which is a win
yeah,
for all of us because then our phones will last longer. And once that battery technology comes out, assuming it's
great.
safe,
Yeah,
assuming it doesn't catch on fire like that one Samsung phone last year or 2 years ago.
the Note 7.
Yeah. Banned on airplanes because of the fire danger.
I wonder if they're still banned on airplanes, or if it's been enough time that all the ones that will blow up have blown up
have
and they've been
have blown up.
replaced. Yeah, so the ones that haven't blown up yet probably aren't defected.
Are pretty safe at this point. Yeah. That's funny. It wouldn't surprise me. And then finally, the Rocketbook is on sale for $10 off. I think only the black version is $10 off. To be
And
honest, I think I'm probably going to
executive
go ahead and buy
size,
it.
not the letter size.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually gonna change my screen to make sure I don't just share my address real fast.
I do like the idea of the Rocketbook, though.
Yeah, sweet. I'm not signed in. That's the benefit of Brave browser. So, yeah, down here, they have the executive in the letter, and then the sizing difference here is the mini's 3.5 by 5.5, executive 6 by 8.8, and then letters a full 8.5, 11. So the executive's like a middle notepad size.
Okay, gotcha.
And then that one's actually on sale. But then the full paper size is like $2 cheaper.
Okay, yep,
Than
$27.
what, like the average I think is like 31 or something like that for the letter.
Yeah. Or 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, 34, something like that.
Yeah. I was looking at it again just because we had talked about it before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting, like this image here, where it shows like the pens and the markers, and then there's all the different colors.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was all within one utensil, and so you can just like cycle through, but it's actually different pens and markers. Like I thought it was much more digital, almost like those old pens where you can flick down what color you wanted. But it turns out it's just a pack of pens that are made for this.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think this is better than the normal pen and paper?
Well, there's a few things. One, it's reusable because it's basically dry erase, so you can wipe it off after you use it. But the really cool thing is that it has an app that it integrates really well with. So let me see if one of these images shows it. Image, you'll see a QR code in the bottom left-hand side of the screen.
Are we
Or the
talking
paper?
about
It's like the third or fourth image. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see it.
There you go. You see that QR code in the bottom left?
Yeah.
And then I have a friend who has one, and I think there's also a few icons down at the bottom, and you can like circle the icons with the pen, and the app will detect that you've circled the icons, and you can have it automatically be uploaded to Google Drive or Google Photos or something like that.
Oh.
So you can take your notes and then take a picture of it with the app and have that saved for forever. So rather than trying to flip them through your notebook pages, you can just open up Google Drive or Google Photos and find your notes. The downside of this, as opposed to just typing out the notes, is that when you type out a note, you can pretty easily search for a certain word and find it. Whereas if you're handwriting and then taking a picture of it, you won't necessarily be able to search.
That's the same
through
benefit of buying your school book digital versus a physical. The digital book is always better because you can control F and find exactly what you're looking for.
Yes. Yeah. So it's like you're trading off the ease of handwriting something, because sometimes writing something by hand can be easier
because
if you're drawing
taken.
a picture too, or just taking notes.
Because then you can draw arrows faster. Like keyword,
draw
arrow.
diagrams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a trade-off, but I think it definitely seems like I definitely see the value of it. I'll say that.
Okay. And it's reusable.
And it's reusable, which is, I mean, not the biggest thing because paper's like pretty cheap. Come on. But you definitely wouldn't want to have to keep buying the Rocketbook for $20. So
yeah, no kidding. Man, we did 10 topics in 44 minutes.
Record time.
That's like 4.5 minutes per topics, which we did.
Some of the Tesla topics were pretty short.
Yeah. No, I think we did pretty good though.
Oh,
Man.
yeah.
Wow. Well, that's all I have. I mean, I might do a couple live streams this week, but
yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, are you gonna make any videos this week? That's the question.
You know, maybe
Maybe
I
not.
might need to make a new video to bump myself over the 500 because it's been slowing down for
Give
sure.
it another SSD.
Yeah, the giveaway.
That's how you do it, apparently. Awesome. Well, I'm going to end the stream now.
We'll talk about that next week.